Well, look who's here. To my dear husband. Here's to you.
No, here's to you, Victoria.
Phantasmagoria is a point-and-click horror game released in 1995. It used real actors digitized into a virtual game world. Atmosphere. The simple rudimentary technology of the game is based on gives it an unnatural feel. The character is clearly an actress, but the environment is purely computer generated. The MIDI music that plays in the background is very harsh and synthetic and kind of creepy. Other than that, the game's atmosphere isn't exactly its strongest point. Exploring the mansion feels hazard-free and very little takes place for the majority of the game. When the game begins, you've got nothing else to do but mull about the house, and even when the story builds to you trying to stop a demon, the gameplay and music just carry on like you've got nothing better to do. No Harry Masons. Scares. Whilst a lot of things you could see coming a mile off, there are certain events that take place that I was certainly not ready for. The sexual abuse scene is something that will hang over this game as something that's incredibly disturbing and out of place for the events leading up to it. The surprise murders of the former owner's wives are pretty shocking too, but overall the game isn't scary to me. It sets up a bunch of interesting events that are never utilised and everything else is predictable, so that's still no Harry Masons. Sound design. There's something creepy about the MIDI music in places. It's like it's trying to be sinister but can't manage it with the limited sound capabilities. The music in the cutscenes is orchestral and suits the scenes very well. When chanting starts, that's when things are going to go down though. However, it's the MIDI gameplay soundtrack that dominates the game, and it's less than inspiring to me. The sound effects all seem pretty stock, and besides giving a loose air of suspense, the sound design is pretty limited. That's still no Harry Masons.
Lead me to my plants.
Yes.
Gore. The application of practical effects in the filming really surprised me the first time I saw it. It's done well enough to look realistic, and in most cases the gore stands out in this slow story and really shocks the player. There are some straight up disturbing scenes as flashbacks where the house's previous owner kills his wives in sickening ways, including force feeding one what I assumed as human remains and twisting the head off of another. It's pretty graphic considering its year of release. No punches pulled. That's one Harry Mason. Story. It's very cliche stuff, with the ghost being released from an ancient book in the first chapter of the game. Her husband becomes possessed, and player character Adrian must find a way to stop the spirit of the ghost. The decline of Adrian's husband Don to the psychopathic murderer happens unnaturally fast, and it's all very weird. Adrian seems to give him a little too much leeway through his drastic personality change and desperately tries to comfort him, and it's painful to watch her get rejected and burned by the man she used to love. After the aforementioned abuse scene, the lover's gone and Adrian has changed too. The story isn't amazing, it's silly in places with a lot of acting is over the top, and you can generally guess what's coming next, but I find it oddly endearing, making the final score 2 out of 5 Harry Masons. Whilst it's pretty goofy by today's standards, it still caught me by surprise in places. It's not a very good game, and its then groundbreaking technology has aged poorly. Again, I'd like to remind you this whole thing is down to my opinion in horror games, and if you don't share this opinion, then that's cool. I get it. I'd like to point out that whilst I was unbelievably uncomfortable through the abuse scene, I did not scream like a banshee or run away from the computer, and I advise you don't either. There'll be more horror reviews in the pipeline, and thanks for watching. And always go check out Bumps in the middle of the night. Peace.